Okay, so tonight was the second day of me doing my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class. Pretty neat. Exhausted again. The first night was pretty tiring. Tonight was even more tiring. Uh, it was neat. Tonight was a little more painful than the first night. The first night I got a pretty neat instructor. But tonight I got a guy who is only like his second or third class, so really I got landed on and beat up pretty good. He's a big old dude, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing, and I just didn't. I don't like. I'm not really used to putting my weight on somebody, another human being. That's kind of. It's weird. I'll figure it out, but he was used to it, so he probably weighed like 200 and 240, 250. He's giant. My back hurts. My knees hurt. Where he grabbed me in the back of my leg, I'm sure I've got fingerprints on the back of my leg. It's cool. I'll get over it. That's the kind of shit I'm gonna have to get used to anyways. But I told myself I was going to keep track of everything and kind of take these little videos so that I can remember and kind of track my progress. Tonight I was just learning how to grab his leg and take him to the ground. Still not that good at that. He's a big old boy. When you got someone as big as him, it was really he knew what he was doing, and his leg weighed so much. Now I wanted to get this down from my own memory, but I do know that I need to use my forehead to knock him off of balance by putting my forehead into his ribs, kind of make it so he's uncomfortable. He has to get back away from me. I get that. Something I would have done against my little brother when we were kids. So yeah, I get that totally. A lot of these things are things that I've learned with my brother uh, when we were little kids. Cause I've got three brothers, and we're all about the same age. So really, one's younger by 10 years, one's older by almost 10 years, but we're all the same area. So a lot of fighting. We're boys. There was a lot of fighting. But with my brother that's right below me, Louie, we're 2 years apart, so we were constantly wrestling and roughhousing. It's just what boys do. We weren't even that bad to each other, I don't think. But I mean, there's people that might think that we were. I don't know. But there's little things like when we were wrestling, the guy was using all his weight on me. I knew that I can use my chin to make him. It's dirty. It's a dirty thing to do to somebody, but you can use your elbows, you can use your chin to make it. Because he was trying to push himself up me, I was like putting my elbow down so that if he pushed into it, he had to come right into that sharp part of your elbow. Little things that I already knew from my little brother. When he tried to push on me, get out of my way, and I pushed that little, and get away from me. It's things you learn with a little brother or a big brother, because he'd do that stuff to me too. Like, get off of me. This is my toy. Just little stuff when we were little, but instantly when you're wrestling with another guy, you start thinking, this is the exact same thing I did with my brother. And then my son, it was always fun to wrestle and play with him. I made sure not to ever use my chin against him or something like that, make him uncomfortable. This is my little boy, but it's still, if it's just like that, you're rolling with somebody that's basically your friend. I don't know the guy. I just got there, but I figure if we're gonna train together forever, he's gonna have to be slightly my friend. So I just wanted to get on here and try to document everything I'm going on. If you like my video, please press like. Please share it with people. Subscribe to my goofy channel. I'll keep trying to do videos like this and keep track of what I'm doing, and eventually I'll figure out how to edit these things, and I'll come back and remake these videos. But I just wanted to make sure to get on. And where am I? How is everything going? Right now, the world's crazy with the pandemic. this is not a time to get scared and all this. This is a time to reinvent yourself. That's what I've done with this, is I've completely reinvented myself. Why not? You know, there's a horrible pandemic going on across the country. People are dying. We've got civil unrest, class wars. And during all this craziness, I went from running just a couple miles to 5 miles a day. Running 5 miles every day. Doing exercise every single day. And then I joined Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I think there's like some Muay Thai classes and stuff like that. I just want to be able to feel confident. I don't feel confident. And, you know, obviously I don't have any teeth. So, I mean, you're not going to feel confident like that. You know, they talk about all these people that go through so much hardship. I started with nothing. Nothing. I lived in a tent. That's all I had. And today I at least have my own little place. And I've got a job. And I'm not getting to work much right now because of the pandemic. But I'm definitely doing something different with my life. And because of the pandemic, did have the unemployment and stuff. So that helped me a lot. You know, I know that people get really mad that there's been that help, but I went for 9.5 years being homeless without any help. Nothing. And I pulled myself off of the streets. Like, so the fact that they finally gave me a little bit, like, I'm not gonna sit here and, oh, well, it's so, you know, I hear people getting so mad that another American was able to get some help for once. It makes them so mad because they've had to work so hard, and I get that. I had to work so hard. I was completely homeless, living in a tent. For once, I have a little bit more than what I've never had, and it makes people mad. Come on. We're Americans. We gotta care about each other a little bit. You know? This isn't like we're not talking about people from another country that everybody seems to hate, which our country was built on. Whatever. It hurts me to know that there's other Americans that are mad at me because for once I get a little bit of help. And there are people out there, because I've seen their videos just seething with hate. It makes them so mad that there's people out there that are getting enough unemployment that it's a little bit more than they ever made. And that makes people that mad. You know what? Like all that shit. I used to be homeless. I dealt with drug addiction and stuff like that. And you know what? This money's coming in and I'm not out buying drugs. I'm not doing things like that. I've bought tools. I've bettered myself. I've joined martial arts. And I'm doing something good with myself. And I've also paid my child support and starting to get my life to a point that everything's copacetic. And that makes people mad. While we got this. So, what I'm going to do is just tell you guys, hey, I'm going to keep trying to better myself. If you guys want to watch, I hope you do. And I really want to show you that there's good people out there that deserve a little bit of help once in a while. And I think we can all look at that and see that there's going to be good things that come of it. It makes me want to do more with myself. I don't see anything wrong with that. It gives me motivation to better myself. That's what I'm doing. And I was actually trying to figure out, and I am still trying to figure out ways to take classes to make it so that I can make more money when the job market does open back up. So there's better ways, and I don't see why we can't help all the Americans in America start to have a real life. You know, I think this universal basic income is the best idea I've ever seen, because if I had a constant of what's going on right now in my life, all I would do is better myself. I would go and get a very good education. I would love to have a higher education, have go to college, like do something real with myself. And the only way something like that could happen is with a basic income. You know, I could become a very employable human being if I just had a chance. And sure, they're going to rip it out from underneath us because allowing human beings, and especially Americans, to do better is just not something the Republican Party does. The GOP or whatever they call themselves, they don't allow that. They don't want Americans, homeless Americans, people in poverty, they don't want them out of that. If they keep them where they are, it's just like slavery. It is slavery, is what it is. If you do the inflation numbers, we're making the same as slaves did, almost nothing. Except for we're white, black, Mexican. It's the whole country now. It's just Americans are slaves. All of us. And I know that there's a huge, and it is, we have a huge racism problem towards black people that is just beyond, it's just fucked up. It's been going on for so long. It is. It's wrong. And we have other Americans that are being affected by it too. It's spread out into the whole society and just eating it alive. And if we can fix the racism, we might be able to fix the rest of it. Because a lot of these different politicians or stuff, when you saw that they told Trump that COVID was going to disproportionately kill black people over white people, Trump doubled down on opening up. I mean, you didn't see that? He got super happy about that. All of a sudden, open it back up. He was so mad. Open it up now. The minute that they began to speak about that on TV, I saw it, and I'm glad that this race war went off so that other people can begin to see. I've been seeing this forever. See, I grew up in a neighborhood that I was the only white kid in the neighborhood. I've seen this my whole life. It's been so fucked up my whole life. I got beat up on Martin Luther King Day one time, and I'm not even mad at the kids about it. I get it. Some guy who looked like me sprayed their parents with hoses and sick dogs on their parents. Like, I get it. You know, I got my ass whipped a couple times because it was Martin Luther King Day. You know, and all I can look back and say, you know what, I get it. I see the white privilege. I see the way I get treated, even though I've always been having nothing, completely poor and having nothing my whole life. Still, I've always been able to talk my way out of walking away from a couple police officers. And I've never seen that with a person of color. No, I mean, they could be a mayor or something, and all of a sudden they're in the back of a police car. It's so fucked up. And as a homeless person, it's really, 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 even then it's disproportionate. Because people of color don't have as many people coming up and offering them, hey, are you hungry? You know, here's a couple bucks, would you like to eat? That happens. Part of the reason that I just chose Asheville to live is because the people of Asheville have a heart. They really care. They're not going to let you starve to death on the street. You know, and I was able to find work here. This is the one place that people say, would you like to work? And I, yeah, please let me get in on that. I want to work. If I can get a chance to do for myself, that's all I've ever wanted to do. And that's all anybody wants to be able to do. But they want to be able to do it and not have to know that they're going to go home at night and have nothing, or not even have a home at night. I don't know. You guys have a wonderful evening. Please press like or subscribe, because I would love to get some subscribers and somehow get some kind of income stream off of these videos. You never know.